Hello everyone, my name is Trần Khánh Hà. I am a student in class 9G at Vuong Secondary School in Buon City. Today my friends and I are happy to tell you about the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic from this perspective of teenagers. My friends are Lê Hà Gia Linh, Nguyễn Thái Khương Duy, Phùng Khải Toàn, Phạm Khánh Ngọc, and Nguyễn Phan Nhật Quang. So let's begin with our presentation. My talk is divided into 5 parts. They are: what is COVID-19? The influence people in COVID-19's pandemic, stories and teenagers in COVID-19 pandemic. So first, let me start with some general information on COVID-19. What is COVID-19? COVID-19 pandemic is an infectious pandemic with the agent of virus SARS-CoV-2 occurring globally, traced back to late December 2019 with the first reported outbreak in Wuhan, central China, stemming from a group of people with unexplained pneumonia. The local health officials confirmed that they had previously had a contact, mainly with traders who traded and worked at a Hainan seafood wholesale market. Chinese scientists have studied and isolated a new line of coronavirus temporarily called 2019 nCoV by the World Health Organization, and that has the same genetic sequence as SARS-CoV in the past. So how about the influence of this virus? As the SARS-CoV-2 virus spreads globally, the stars have shifted from supply-side manufacturing resources to business downsizing in the services sector. The pandemic caused the largest global recession in history, with more than a third of the world's population at the time locked down. The worldwide effects of the current COVID-19 pandemic include loss of life, social and economic instability, xenophobia and racism against ethnic Chinese and East Asia, the online diffusion of misinformation and contagious conspiracy theories. I'd now like to move on to the next part. People in COVID-19 pandemic. In this complicated time, there are some warm moments of people around us, especially doctors and nurses who are considered as angels in white shirts or frontline soldiers fighting the pandemic. They are working together round the clock, silently dedicating and protecting our country. They bring us hope and help us get through this COVID-19 pandemic. Turning our attention now to stories in COVID-19's pandemic. Male students give their rooms and food to people in quarantine. Female students mobilize donations to support people against the pandemic, or a handwritten letter from a foreign female tourist about the Vietnamese people's heart, among many beautiful stories in the quarantine camp during the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to illustrate this point by showing you some pictures. We teenagers in COVID-19's pandemic. As teenagers and students, we should always wear a mask when going out in crowded places and remind relatives and people around us to wear masks. We should help parents clean the house and improve our own resistance by eating well and doing exercises. If we return from a cluster, we must immediately notify the local government for testing and home isolation. We should remind everyone around to actively wash their hands and keep their bodies warm. We should also avoid going to crowded places and just going out if necessary. That's all I have to say about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic from this perspective of teenagers. Thank you for listening.